Hello friends, welcome to SahuStudies. In this video, I am going to show you how cumulative distribution function works in Scala. So cumulative distribution function works on window partition. So how we are going to define the window partition? Window partition we going to define with the help of a window keywords. It does two things whenever we are going to define window partition. First, it partitions the data with the help of a partition by function, which creates the sets of rows. What does it mean? It means suppose we have a data frame and we are going to partition the data based on a column. So it will going to create one partition each based on the unique value which is present in that column. When the partition gets created, order by clause tells how data will be organized in that partition. It will be organized in the ascending order, on the descending order, and based on the which column. So why generally we use cumulative distribution function? So cumulative distribution function is used to get the cumulative distribution within the window function. It calculates the relative rank of a value within the partition. So it will going to take a value, it will calculate what is the relative rank of that value is within that partition, and it will give a value which is ranged from 0 to 1. 0 means it has the lowest distribution among that partition, and 1 means highest, means the occurrence of that value is more in that partition. So it is used to understand the distribution of a value within a partition, or we can say within the same partition. Cumulative distribution is a window analytic function, and whenever we are using the window analytic function, it returns some result after operating on data. So in this exercise, I am going to show you how cumulative distribution function works. So for this, we need some data, and here I am just defining a list. That list contains the data on which we are going to do this cumulative distribution function exercise. You can see here I am just importing 3 libraries. In this row I am just importing Spark session. Here I am just importing all the functions which is present in this package, and here I am just importing this window function. Here I am just creating a sequence variable. That sequence variable has 4 values. These 4 values is nothing but it will act as a schema whenever we are going to create a data frame based on the list variable which we have defined above. With the help of a Spark context.parallelize function, by passing this list variable which contains all the data, here I am just creating the RDD. Once the RDD gets created, then with the help of a create data frame function, by passing this RDD variable, I am just creating this data frame. This data frame has been created, but this data frame don't have columns. So what I am just going to do, on top of that data frame, I am just calling 2D function, and I am just supplying this variable. This variable is nothing but it has a sequence which has 4 names, and it will act as a column. So the resultant data frame is this one. It has the data as well as the columns. Once this data frame gets created, we are defining a window. So as I discussed that whenever we are defining the windows, we define 2 things. One is on which column we are doing the partition. So with the help of a partition by function, by providing a column, it will create a partition. And once the partition gets created, how the data will going to organize in that partition. So here just I am defining in the order by clause. By taking the value of AP salary, it will going to organize the data in each partition based on the AP salary either in the ascending order or descending order. Here I am not providing any ordering, so by default Spark will going to order in ascending order. Once this window partition gets created, so what I'm just going to do, I'm just creating this column with the help of with column function on top of this data frame. How this column value will going to populate? The column will going to populate by calling or by using cumulative distribution function on top of window partition. So how we are going to define the window partition? We are going to define window partition with the help of an over clause, and we are passing the partition strategy. So how this variable has a partitioning strategy. What are the partitioning strategies here? We have defined. We have defined the partition the data with the help of AP department and order the data based on the AP salary in ascending order. And cumulative distribution function calculates the relative rank and populate the value in AP cumulative distribution salary column. Let's do this exercise in Databricks. Let me create a notebook. Name it as cumulative distribution. So to perform this exercise, we need some data. So I have created a list which has some data. Let me copy it from Notepad++ and run it. So this list variable we have successfully defined. Now let's create a sequence variable which has name of the columns. Sequence. What is the name of the columns? AP, AP, gender, AP, AP department, and AP salary. Let's run it. Now let's import all the required libraries. Import org.apache.spark.sql, and then we are going to import Spark session. Spark session has been imported successfully, and now it is available in this notebook. Let's import all the functions and import. Functions are available in this notebook. Now let's import the windows. Here SQL and then expression, and from the expression let's import window. Now window is also available here. Now let's create a RDD. So how we are going to create a RDD? AP RDD. We are on the top of the Spark context. Let's call parallelize method and pass the object which has the data. So this is the list object which we have created above. It has the data. So let's click pass here. This RDD has been created successfully. Let's create a data frame on top of that RDD. create data frame by passing the object which has the data. So RDD has the data which we have created above. This data frame has been created successfully. Let's see the content. It has the data, but it do not have columns. Let me create another data frame. How we are going to create a new column? We are going to create, sorry, new data frame. We are calling to function on top of this data frame and passing the sequence variable which has all the which is name of the columns. Okay. What the mistake I have made? Okay. Here it should be this one and this. Again, I have made the mistake. Sorry. This must be underscore. This data frame gets created. Now, let's see the content of this data frame. So it has a column as well as data. Now, let's see how cumulative distribution function works. For this, first we need to create a window partitioning strategy. AP window partition. How it is going to create? We are going to define the window with the help of a partition by clause. It is partitioning. The partition happens with the help of a AP department column. And going to order the data in each partition with the help of AP salary column. Right? This window partition function has been defined. Now, let's create a data frame variable AP. On top of this column, this data frame, let's create a column. What is the name of the column? And how the value will going to populate? It will going to populate with the help of the distribution over what is the over this window partition. The partitioning strategy we have defined here. Let's run it. Okay, so this data frame has been created successfully. So what we have done in this code, let's understand it. So on top of this data frame, I am creating a window partition with the help of a over keyword. And what is the window partitioning strategy? The window partitioning strategy has been defined in this variable. So this variable says partition the data with the help of AP department and order the data with the help of AP salary. Once this partition gets created, on top of that partition, we are just using cumulative distribution. What cumulative distribution will do? It will take the value and it will see what is the cumulative distribution of that value within each partition. And it will result a value which is between anything between 0 to 1, and that value where it will going to populate in this newly created column. Let's display it. We can see here that cumulative distribution has a value 0.25, 0.2, 0.35. It is nothing but it is a cumulative distribution of this value in each in partition. So here the partitioning is done by AP department name. So from here to here, it comes in one partition. From here to here, it will come in one partition. So it will see what is the cumulative distribution of this value in that particular partition. Here it is ID, so it is populating 0.25, 0.25, 0.375, 0.5, 0.625. Now I think you can able to understand what is the significance of cumulative distribution function, how we can use the cumulative distribution function in Scala. Let's go to the PPT. Thank you. If you like content of my video, then please subscribe my channel, like it, comment on it, and press the bell icon to get notification whenever I add videos.